So today is February 3rd, 2026, and this is yesterday's trade breakdown. I didn't have time to break it down yesterday, but I got some time today, so that's what we're gonna do. Right, so right now I'm on NASDAQ. This is on the 5-minute time frame, right? And right off the bat, I see that price is on an uptrend, as you can see. Price is on a little uptrend right here since basically, let me see what is like one. So basically all the way from London session. So London session price was just uptrending all session, right, on NASDAQ. And I'm looking at the 5-minute. So right off the back, already see, okay, we got a high, low, a higher high, a lower high, another higher high right here, a lower high, another higher high being created, right? So right here I see this demand setup starting from this candle, this black candle, all the way up to here, which is where this fair value gap begins on this candle, right? Even though 3 MAs are a little bit off, price action is still king, so that's what I'm looking at. We're on the 5-minute. I'm still looking at price action to see what's going on, right? So from here I sent this out to the group chat. I was like, okay, I see a demand setup on NASDAQ right now. I'm just waiting for price to come back down, hit our zone, reject of our zone, and give us an entry candle. So from there we were just waiting, and this is what happened. Boom, price came down, hit our zone around 7:55 in the morning, and from there I already sent it out to the group chat. I was like, okay, next candle that breaks the recent candle high, the last candle high, I'll be getting in for buys. Obviously first target is 1-to-1, and from there we were just waiting for our entry confirmation. This candle came in, price started dropping down. I was like, okay, if price breaks this zone, I'm not getting in the trade. I'm gonna ignore it and just go on from there. Then that's the 8 a.m. candle. That's when the New York session started. So the next candle opened up, and bam, it broke the last candle high. So here I was already in the trade. I had my stop loss roughly around here. My 1-to-1 was right about here. This is my first target, which is the top of the recent high, and then my 1-to-2, which is 2 times right risk, would have been up here, right? So from here I was just waiting. I'm already in the trade. I already placed my risk. I already got all the confirmations. Only thing that's really missing is the 3 MAs are not really lined up accordingly, but we got price action in our favor. We got, you know, this right here, this alone, like this whole area right here alone is it was a resistance. Price bounced up, bounced down off that resistance, came up, broke that resistance, right, came down, retested it, and bounced off of it and continued to trend up. So this resistance turned into support, right? Right here was a resistance, right here price broke through it, and it turned to support. So that's also why it gave me an extra confirmation of like, okay, I'm gonna get buys. I'm gonna buy off this setup, of this demand setup, even though the 3 MAs are not aligned, like my strategy tells me that the 3 MAs should be aligned in order for me to take the setup. But I still had good confidence in taking the setup because, like I said, we had a resistance that turned into support, and we have a 3 MA, and we have a demand setup right here, and price been uptrending all session. So right off the back, I was like, okay, yeah, I'm about to take this setup. So from here, we were just waiting. Price started going up into profit, started consolidating. Also, we see the 200 EMA, right? This white line is going across price. So right now it's flat. It's literally not directly above price or directly under price. Usually when the 3 MA, the 200 MA is flat, price tends to consolidate. Like right here, the line started going flat. This 200 EMA started going flat. Price right here consolidated. Right here the price is flat. The line is flat. Price kind of consolidated. Right here the line is flat. Price is consolidating around my entry point. But I still had confidence in my analysis and in my setup, and I was just holding the trade. So we're just waiting. And I see right here price is also rejecting. Right here price is also rejecting, like it doesn't want to go up. but I was still just waiting, holding the trade. At this point, I was like, okay, price is either gonna hit my stop loss and break the zone, or hit my 1-to-1 target and we make money. So it was just either stop loss or take profit. But I'm already in the trade. Right here, price started pushing down heavily, right? And I had moved my stop loss like right under here, under this candle. I don't know if you can see, but under this black candle right here, I had moved my stop loss right underneath it. So I was like, okay, if price breaks this low, this black candle, this last low where price rejected up from, then I'm gonna get out the trade. And then also, once I saw this candle push down and almost hit my stop loss, and price started rejecting off this 50 MA, which is the red line, I got in again on another position. So now I'm risking roughly like $50 more because I got in down here. So if price hits my stop loss, I lose $50 plus my original risk, which was this whole thing, which would have been 2% of my account, right? So for right here, I already got in the trade. Price pushed, next candle open, and price ended up pushing into profit. So right off the bat, I'm in profit from the entry that I got in right here, right before price hit my stop loss, right? This next candle came up, boom. This candle came up, bam. So right here, when price broke these candle highs, right about here, damn, bro. Okay, so right about where this line is at, when price came down, I got in the trade again, risking like this little bit, right? Let's say I got in the trade like right here. I was risking like this little bit. That's how much I was risking, right? On the second trade. And then the first trade, I was risking this much, right? So if I took a loss, like I said again, it would have been like $50 to $100. It would have been way less than my original full risk on the first trade, or the first position that I entered, right? And then this candle started pushing up. So that position, that second position I entered, once price hit these highs and broke these candle highs I was rejecting, I got out the trade, and that was my 1-to-1 profit. So the same amount that I made here from taking the extra position from where my stop loss was at all the way up to here would have been the same amount that I made on the first position from here to my first target, which is my 1-to-1. So right here I already secured profits. Boom. I secured that second trade position that I took, and I closed out, and I already made my 1-to-1 for the day. So I was already in profit for the day for taking that second position, which was a trend trade, and I was willing to risk a little bit extra just to see if price will continue or hit my stop loss, and if it continued, it was going to be a very good day, which it did. So I ended up making my 1-to-1 off of that second trade, and now I'm still holding the original position and waiting for price to hit our original 1-to-1 target for the first position that we got in on this trade. So from there, I was just waiting. Price ended up, boom, hit our first target, our original first target, and then I see this candle started rejecting. I was waiting for price to continue going up and hit our second target right about here, right, but it didn't. So from here, I'm just waiting. I see this candle push up even more, and then I see the candle rejecting. So I'm like, okay, price created a new high, right? Price just came down, came up, broke this recent high, created a new high. So now I'm expecting for price to come back down, create a higher low, a new low, and then continue to go high, but I don't want to wait. So right here, once price hit my 1-to-1, also, I forgot to mention, once price hit my 1-to-1, I already closed out half of the trade, half of my first trade position. So I already took out half profits. So let's say I'm risking $400. I already closed out $200, and there's still $200 more in the trade that is still running and profit, right? So right here I also broke even. Boom. So now I'm risking no money, and now I'm just waiting to see if price is going to continue and hit our 1 or 2 target, right? Plus the New York Stock Exchange open was like in like the next 30 minutes. So I was trying to get out this trade fairly quick and, you know, take my profit and call it a day. So from here, we were just waiting. I see price kind of rejecting. Okay, I see these two candles rejecting. If I see the next candle rejecting, I'm getting out the full trade at my 1-to-1 and calling it a day, because I already made my 1-to-1 of the second position, and I'm making a second 1-to-1 of the original position for the original trade. And yeah, so price began to reject. I got out the trade right here at 1-to-1. So I took out the full trade roughly around here, right? Roughly around like this area. Boom. So on the first trade, I made this 1-to-1 up to these highs. Boom. And then the second trade, which was the first position, I wrote it to the original first target or 1-to-1 target, which was here. And then I closed out half the trade, broke even, right? And then closed out the other half of the trade up there once I saw price rejecting and pushing back down, right? So that was basically the trade. And from there I was like, you know what, I'm gonna call it a day. I'm not gonna wait until price go and try to touch our 1 or 2 target, because I already made this little bit right here, and I already made my 1-to-1. And right now, me holding this other trade and me taking the second position trade was extra. So I already made my 1-to-1, and then price came on my original position and hit our original 1-to-1. So I made my 1-to-1 twice already. So I'm already like up 1 or 2 for the day. So I already made 2 times my risk with those 2 trades, and I'm already set. So I secured profits. I'll show you right now how much we made. This was on yesterday's trade. See if I gotta put the brightness up. This was on yesterday's trade, right? I took that first one, that first trade. I closed out at our highs, right? When price was almost in my stop loss, and then started pulling back and hit those candle highs. I closed out the second trade position I entered near my stop loss, and then the original trade position that we took hit our 1-to-1, and I closed out the full trade at 1-to-1, basically making a total of like $840 for the day, right? Which is a normal like 1 or 2 trade for me, basically. And yeah, we just called that a day. From there, we just, I called it a day, and then price ended up, consolidating near that area. And then right here, the New York Stock Exchange opened, bam. And then if I would have hold that trade, bro, price just freaking pushed up like crazy. Look, boom, price just flew. So if I would have hold that trade, this would have been like a 10-to-1. This would have been like a 10-to-1. So I would have made 10 times that amount I was risking. So let's say if I was risking, I would have made like $4,000. If I were risking $400 right here, I would have made $4,000 on this one trade alone with a $400 risk, which is crazy, right? But I didn't know that was gonna happen, right? I ended up getting out the trade. Let me see. I ended up getting out the trade right there, playing it safe, right? Because I already made my profits off that first position. That second position I took being a little bit risky, right? When price was near my stop loss, and off my original position at 1-to-1. Then price started consolidating right here. So I'm like, yo, I'm not gonna risk price coming back down to my break even, or coming back down to my stop loss and breaking the zone and then losing money. So I'm like, I'm gonna close out everything, call it a day, and then market do what I want to do. I should have left the runner, right? I should have closed majority of the profits and left like 10% running to see what would have happened during the New York Stock Exchange open. But hey, I would have probably made another $400 if I would have left the little runner. I would have probably made more, probably less, but it's cool. At the end of the day, it was still a win. A win is a win, and small wins add up. So that's something that for new traders, beginner traders that are learning, small wins add up. Just like small losses add up. So that's why you want to keep your losses contained, and also your wins, you want to try to maximize the most of them, but also secure some profits, because at the end of the day, you never know what price is going to do, and you want to secure some wins, because small wins here and there and there and there is going to add up to a good amount at the end of the week or at the end of the month. And yeah, so the wins got to secure something, bro, because at the end of the day, we don't control the markets. You don't know what the market's going to do. Nobody knows what the market's going to do. Not even the strategy or the analysis or the edge knows what the market is going to do. So at the end of the day, you just got to secure profits at every target and learn when to walk away. Like, okay, I missed that big move. It's cool. I'll walk away, because at the end of the day, I still make some profits. I don't know what the market could have done. The market, instead of price shooting up like this on the New York Stock Exchange Open, it could have shot down, right? And if we look at this the next day, let's see if it's gonna show. If we look at the next day, see it leave, boom, right? This is the following day, right? So this day, which was Monday, price shot up when the New York Stock Exchange opened. Now the following day, price freaking shot down, right here, boom, this candle. Price shot down when the New York Stock Exchange opened, right? Instead of shooting up like it did yesterday, price shot down, boom, and freaking tanked like crazy. So, you know, you never know. But yeah, that's what happened on yesterday's trade. We ended up making, like I said, like $800 for the day. Ended up taking 2 trades on the same setup, and yeah, made some money. Then that setup ended up playing out extremely crazy for the day, which was amazing. So whoever took that trade and ended up holding it longer than me, they made some good amount of cash. But yeah, man, that's it for yesterday's trade breakdown. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tap into the book program, tap into the private Discord if you want to, speak to me personally, get some gems personally, or have me help you with your trading. And yeah, man, that's about it. Till next time.